Welcome again to my channel. On this video, we'll be talking about travel essentials that you need to bring along with you if you're moving into Canada as a student or as an immigrant. For the purpose of this video, as I begin to share those essential things that you need, like packing list, I will call them, I will be letting you know what you need for students and what you need for an immigrant if you're moving in as an immigrant to Canada. So without much ado, let's jump right in. First thing I will mention is that you should have your luggage ready. So of course you want to travel, you have to pack your bags, and for your bags you want to make it as light and convenient as possible. You would obviously be having a backpack which is easy to move around with, and you also want to have a luggage that has wheels that is also easy in case you have some transition in between flights and you need to move around, so you're not carrying heavy bags on your shoulder to move from point A to point B. So you want to make that easy for yourself. If you have to carry your laptop, also have it as light as possible so you can have it on your hand luggage as well. Don't carry too many bags. Find out how much of travel allowance you need for luggage so that you are carrying as much as what is required of you, so you don't have to pay extra luggage allowance during the course of your flight. And as you pack, ensure that you are researching the temperature or the weather of where you're going to. So if you're coming to Canada, everywhere in Canada have different temperatures. So if you're in Saskatchewan, it's very cold. If you're in Ontario, it's a bit warmer. So you want to know the temperature of the province that you're moving into, and then that helps you to gear up for the things that you're going to be bringing along with you. For instance, your clothing, you don't want to bring too much of warm clothes because you're coming into the winter proper. If that's the season that you're moving into, try to bring as much of clothes that you will need, not just bringing clothes. It must be appropriate for the season, and then make allowance to also come by other clothes that you will need for each particular season when you land here in Canada. You also need to be conscious of the kind of footwear that you also bring here in Canada. Is mostly Converse, they call it Converse, or sneakers, or boots, trendy boots that people wear around here. You really don't wear much of those formal things if you're not in the workforce. So, and because you are going to be coming here as an international student, if you are an international student, you want to be as comfortable as possible as you move around. And if you also will be finding job, you want to be as comfortable with your footwear. Next up will be the documents that you require. So if you're coming here, you need to pass through immigration and you need some documents. So your visa, you need to ensure that you have your visa ready. Don't just take your passport and feel you want to move to Canada without a valid visa if you're an international student. As an international student, or if you're coming here to study, you need your point of entry letter and your temporary residence visa for you to come into Canada as a student that is coming to also work here. So you need to make sure that you have all these documents handy. Put them in your hand luggage so that you don't miss it at the point of entry. You also need to have your letter of acceptance into the university that you're going to study, and letter of introduction. There's no overkill to all of these things. Please just bring as much of what you have been given or what you have submitted for you to get that admission. Take it along with you at the point of entry, because when you're asked to provide some of these documents, it's already in your hand luggage and it's easy for you to provide it at the point of entry. Also, for your accommodation as you land, you need to have booked a place to stay if you don't have someone that you're staying with. Whichever way it falls into, whether you're booking an Airbnb or you have someone that you're going to be staying with, you need to show proof of this address as well, because you'll be asked for where you're going to be landing. You're going to be filling some forms on board and you're going to be giving that information as well. So you need to have that handy with you when you're landing. If you have booked an Airbnb, have the address with you. If you have a family that you're going to be landing in their home, please ask for their address so that you can have that to fill on your form when you're on board. As an international student coming to school here or work, and also as an immigrant, you need to show proof. You need to show proof of your finances when they are moving in. I know for immigration you have what they call proof of funds that you might randomly be asked to show. So you must be able to print out your documents or your bank statements to show that you have this amount of proof of funds in your account, in case you might be one of those lucky ones, I would say, that are asked to show those proof in documents. And as an international student, you also want to show proof that you have money in your account that will help you through some part of this journey here as a student. Before you also start working, you want to have that proof. And if you were sponsored, you also have those information handy if asked. Don't forget to come with your driver's license, because you might also want to drive around the city, have a better view of what the city looks like. So take it along with you. You have about 3 months that you can use this driver's license. Some provinces, I think, allow for up to 6 months. So you must research and find out which province you're going to and what is acceptable there. You can also have an international driver's license, which is acceptable in other provinces as well, not in all provinces, but it's better to know what is expected and have those handy. Packing list number 3, I would say get your gadgets ready. You are coming into Canada. Be aware that some of the electrical points that we have here is different from some other countries. So you want to have a compatible travel adapter with you, which also helps you to convert the voltage from your laptop or your phone charger into the one here in Canada. So you need to make your research. If it's not the same voltage, you can't even plug it won't go into the socket. So you must be aware of this. If you're bringing a laptop, try and get the converter to help you still connect, because you don't want to come to Canada and start buying new laptop because your charger is not the right one for the socket. So bring this universal travel adapter with you. You can get it on Amazon and it's not that expensive, so that you can have that handy to plug your phone, to plug your laptop and other things. And don't forget to bring your camera, or you can use your phone. It's better when you're traveling to also have a good picture of your journey for memory. You know, it's good to have that handy. If you're a vlogger, I'm sure you will have something more interesting to vlog with, so that you can be able to have these pictures saved up for you to edit and post for viewers to see. And with a camera handy, you also want to have your memory cards and other things that are associated with vlogging or camera, so that you don't lose your charges, like your memory card, your power bank, to also give you, battery life on your camera and all other things that you need for vlogging. As you pack your bags, don't forget your toiletries as well, because before you land, you might need to have yourself freshened up at some point when you have some layovers at some airports. So you want to have your toothbrush, your toothpaste, you want to have some other things handy with you. You might be checking in some things. Not everything can come in flight with you with your hand luggage. So liquids are not allowed and some other things. So check to know what is expected of you to have in your travel bag. That's your hand luggage or your backpack in flight. And other things you can check in, such as your shampoo, your body wash, your face wash, your deodorants, your perfume, and all other things that you need to freshen up yourself. Put them handy. You need to have them with you. Don't come to a foreign land and just see yourself going to the store to be getting these basic things. You can just have enough for a week or 2 weeks before you start shopping. I've lost count of my packing list right now, but the next one will be your medication. If you have any medication that you take on a regular basis, please come along with it. It's better for you to have about 30 to 60 days supply as an international student. And if you are immigrating, you need almost about 3 months supply before you get a family doctor or your health card ready for you to be able to get a family doctor. It's also not easy to get a family doctor. You might be buying at the pharmacy and that will be costing you so much more. But bring your medications for at least 3 months to 6 months if you can have a long expiry of that. And also come in with your prescription. So that also helps you. If you are being checked, they won't say that you are carrying prescription medicine without a prescription. So please ask your doctor to give you a prescription for your medications when you're buying them. You can also travel with OTCs, that's the over-the-counter medications or drugs that are not prescription drugs. So you're used to some things like paracetamol and some other medication that you need for some purposes. You can also buy those and bring along with you so that you can have them handy to use when you need them. Another packing list is for you to have money on you. You can bring in your credit card if you have one from your country. Obviously abroad you can use credit card, so you can use your credit card and then it converts into the currency of your country. But when you move in here, you need money. You can also try to change some money and have cash with you. You can get Canadian currencies from your country so that you can have cash to spend immediately when you come in. And if you have more than enough, understand the travel allowance that you have for cash. It depends on your travel visa and what it permits you, so that you don't have to travel with so much of cash and don't get into trouble. When you get into Canada, you can open a bank account and put in this money in there, or get your debit card whereby you can spend from that when you put in your cash in there. But if you don't, for the interim when you're coming, bring your credit card or your debit card. Understand your maximum spending limit from your bank in your home country, because that would also help you know how much you can spend per day. Some limits are also given to some cards depending on the country that you are in, so be sure to understand this so that you are not in any way needing cash and you can't have access to, because you have exceeded your monthly spending limit from your bank card. So that is important for you to find out before you hit the airports. If you're coming to Canada as an immigrant, I know some people bring food. We all say these things. I know sometimes it's difficult for you to understand the exchange rates based on your country's currency with the currency here in Canada. Sometimes it's expensive. Your country's currency have actually depreciated so much. But you can bring in a little bit of food items that you can pass through immigration, or you can put in your luggage and check it in at the airport. But I wouldn't advise you to bring in so much, because at the end of the day, as an immigrant, when you start working, it's better, I say that, to spend your Canadian earned money in Canada. Because if you're spending your foreign currency in Canada, it becomes so expensive buying things here. Although that's what your proof of funds is for, you'll be able to have those to spend for 3 to 6 months in case you don't have work, and you'll be able to pay your bills, pay your rent, and be able to live and put all your other basic expenses. But make sure that as soon as you get an employment, you are using your Canadian currency to fund your Canadian lifestyle. It makes more sense that way. So that means you are not constantly picking up a calculator and exchanging the amount of what you're buying. Like you're buying cereal, for instance, you're saying, wow, this is how much it is in my currency. That means you're spending so much. Meanwhile, you're paying in card, and that becomes so expensive for you. Try to bring a few of the food that you will need for a minimum of a few weeks. And if you must cargo as an immigrant, you have goods to follow lists that you can always check when you are coming. Include those things and you can send that by cargo, and you'll be able to start up your life here in Canada. These are the few essentials I've been able to share with you as an immigrant or a student that is coming to study here in Canada. Ensure that you check off these lists and make sure you have all these handy when you are migrating. And don't forget to lock your luggage so that you don't have anybody pilfering in your luggage in transit. Thank you for watching. Do share, like, and subscribe, and see you again in my next vlog. Bye guys.